Hey everyone! We are going to be talking about glass skin today, and I'm super excited to have everyone here. I would like everyone to say hi in the chat, say your name. Well, I guess your name would show, but say hi. How did you find out about the webinar? Are you a fan of Renée Rouleau products? Are you an esthetician? Are you in the US? Where are you? So whatever you want to say, let's comment in the chat and get a little conversation going. I am Renée Rouleau, and I am super excited to be here. Oh, we have estheticians here. Yay, Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. All right, so we are going to be talking about glass skin today. So let me just tell you how this is going to work. At the end, I'm going to open it up for Q&A with me, but all throughout the first 30 minutes of the webinar, my estheticians, Amanda and Maddie, are going to be answering questions, linking to blog posts, things that I'm talking about, linking to products. So I will let you guys all chat while I'm going to be giving the presentation. And then at the end, I will look at it at the chat and answer some questions that you guys have for me. So let's go ahead and get started. I know everyone is super busy, and let's go. Hi, everyone. Okay. So today we are talking about glass skin. Super excited about this. So let me say this. If you think just hydrating your skin is going to give your skin glass skin, unfortunately, that's just not how it works. So you're going to learn a lot of things today from me and things that you probably haven't heard about in regards to glass skin. And let's get started. So first up, all the kind of legal stuff. This is not medical advice. So, take it for what it is. See a doctor if you have some concerns. And this is all my copyrighted information. So you can't reproduce it, copy it, borrow it, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Now that we have that out of the way, who am I? So I am Renée Rouleau. I am based here in Austin, Texas. My corporate headquarters are here, CEO and 100% sole owner of Renée Rouleau Skincare. We celebrated 28 years last year, coming up on 29 years in August. 35 years celebrity esthetician. Been doing this a while. I like to say I can do this with my eyes closed at this point. Licensed in 3 states. I'm a product formulator. I've taken a lot of cosmetic chemistry courses at UCLA. I'm very hands-on with product formulation, and that's probably one of my favorite things to do is formulating products. It's such an art along with science, and I love it. And a skincare educator. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help everyone. And I have a very popular skincare blog that I've had for 9 million years. And we get over 2 million visitors a year for people just like you who love to be smarter skincare consumers. For anyone just jumping on, my estheticians, Maddie and Amanda, are going to be answering questions in the chat, and then I will be taking some questions towards the end. So my philosophy, the Renée way, my journey as an esthetician began with this one simple question. If you don't know your skin type, are you even getting results? So I believe there's 9 types of skin. And so I learned early on as an esthetician, in school, we learn about dry, normal, and oily. And I became an esthetician, started working with skin hands-on, and you quickly realize, and all you estheticians that are already on here, you quickly realize that that is very limiting and the skin is more than that. And so that's been my philosophy since day one. And I built a product line based on that philosophy. People can take the skin type quiz and get their own curated routine recommended because that's how you get results. You have to use products for your skin type. All right, so let's dive into glass skin. What is glass skin? So it's a term that refers to skin basically resembling a piece of glass, right? It's smooth, it's clear, it's radiant, it reflects light. Again, almost resembling a piece of glass. It is defined as skin that is deeply hydrated, plump, and glowing with a poreless and flawless finish. Easier said than done, but that's the whole point today. I'm going to tell you how to literally get your skin resembling a piece of glass. So there's four essentials. You know, when you hear people talk about glass skin, they're always just talking about hydration. That's one way to get glass skin, but you need all four if you really want that skin to really be smooth. So one is a smooth as glass texture. And the key word here is free of bumps. We'll be talking about what bumps are, free of bumps, blemishes, and small pores, making your pores look as small as humanly possible. Second is even toned with minimal discoloration, right? We want the skin to, not have to have you hide under makeup, and the skin is, all even and essentially, not have brown spots and post breakout marks. Again, easier said than done. Glowing skin with circulation, a natural, healthy glow from within, kind of a lit from within type look. And lastly is moisture and hydration, dewy, plump, really fresh looking skin. All right, so we are going to touch on those four essentials. So first, let's touch on clogged pores. So hopefully you can kind of see a little bit the image I have here, but these are two examples of clogged pores. So on the left, these are what are called closed comedones. On the right, this is called milia. You get milia oftentimes around the eyes. Clogged pores certainly can be all over the face. Causes of clogged pores: oily skin. They are most likely to get clogged pores because they have this flow of oil that's coming through the pores, and then dead cells fall in there and all sorts of things happen, and you can get those clogged bumps. Using wrong products for your skin type. This is really important. If you are somebody that's more oily, you want to use things that are oil-free and that are, acne safe. And then makeup. I can't tell you how much in this day and age, everyone with the highlighters, trust me, I love a good highlighter. I actually just started using cream blushes about a year ago. I never used cream blushes. And, but all of these heavy products, I mean, people get so clogged up here and then they don't wash their makeup brushes on top of it. But if you are somebody that has all those little tiny bumps there and they're not blemishes, they stay there all the time, those are clogged pores called closed comedones. So how do you get rid of them? Manual extractions from an esthetician. Usually a dermatologist doesn't get in there and kind of spend time removing clogged pores, but estheticians, we as estheticians do that. When I found out that there was a profession where I would get paid for people to pick at people's skin, because I've always been a chronic picker, I was like, yes. So, but obviously there's a safe way for to clean out the skin that way, and estheticians know how to do that. So, but yes, manual extractions. We love products that help clear out clogged pores, but at some point you have to get those pores cleaned out on their own. I mean, from an esthetician. They don't just vanish with products. Products will help keep them clean once you've gotten them extracted. And so specific products might be from the Renée Rouleau line, Pore and Wrinkle Perfecting Serum, and BHA Clarifying Serum, because those have salicylic acid in it that help to clear out the pore lining, because salicylic acid is what's called oil soluble. It has the ability to penetrate through oil, and glycolic and lactic and mandelic doesn't. So anyway, but yes, so manual extractions. When we think about glass skin, it's bump free, right? And if you have those, little bumps on the skin, that is not smooth as glass, right? Okay, next up, milia. So people get it around their eyes. The causes is hyperkeratosis, which is basically an accumulation of like kind of thicker skin on the surface. Heavy eye cream sometimes. That's why I always like eye creams to be on the lighter side. And smoking. So smoking can cause it around the eyes as well. The best way, my expert advice to get rid of it, you can receive extractions from an esthetician, but oftentimes dermatologists will do milia as well. Sometimes dermatologists use, they pierce it with a heated needle, and and estheticians have access to that machine as well, but they can pierce it with a heated needle and it just dissolves all that oil. And a product recommendation is overnight eye serum. So from the Renée Rouleau line, we have this, which is an under eye exfoliator. You never think about exfoliating around the under eyes, but it's really important. Also for dryness, and then of course, milia prevention. Okay, so let's touch on blemishes and enlarged pores. So again, we want the skin to have a glass finish, right? And so we are trying to get off any bumps on the skin that doesn't make the skin look smooth. So blemishes, causes of blemishes: hormones, incorrect products, dairy can be problematic, many unknowns, or simply a case of bad luck, right? That is the $1 million question, is why do I break out, right? Everybody asks that. And it's like, I'm here to tell you, if we knew it, no one's keeping this a secret, right? There are researchers all day long trying to figure out, the cure for acne. And it's just very, very challenging. It's not just so easy as saying, oh, I'm just going to eat clean. Trust me, again, if that was all it was, we would all know about it. But acne is very complicated. And I've been an esthetician for 35 years. There was acne back then, there's acne now. Like it's still here, it's still a thing, and we haven't solved it. Now there's ways to control it, manage it, all of that. And sometimes we do solve it, but it's just a very challenging thing. Read my blog. I have a lot of great blog posts. So my expert advice for that is seeing a skincare professional. So that could be a dermatologist if you wanted to go the medication path, which, I'm not always a fan of that. But sometimes it's necessary and sometimes it's just easiest. I work in Hollywood with celebrity people, celebrity clients, and sometimes they just have to go on a medication because they're on film and they just don't have time to try anything else. But see an esthetician as well. We love to get in there, clear out clogged pores and problems solve. And we have all that time to spend with you. When you're with an esthetician, you're with them for an hour. And so you can really have those great conversations and try to get to the root of the breakout. And then product recommendations. So again, it's all about bump-free skin. So one of our best-selling products, our number one, is our anti-bump solution. Many of you might be familiar with this. This is incredible for those hard, sore, cystic knots that have a heartbeat to them. They pulse and they're painful. You put this on and it goes away really, really fast. So that's particularly like chin and jawline area, if you guys break out there. And then other recommendations, rapid response detox mask. If you're familiar with this one, you may know, because we talked about this, we did a study, and within 7 minutes, this destroys 98.6% of surface C. acnes bacteria on the skin. So it creates an environment in the skin where less breakouts are likely to happen. So rapid response detox mask is great. And then AHA, BHA blemish control cleanser, rapid response detox cleanser. I mean, we have, a lot of products for acne. It just depends on your skin type and how often you get them. And then enlarged pores, right? These are, indents in the skin, and that doesn't give you that smooth as glass finish. Causes of enlarged pores: excess oil production. The reason why you'll get large pores in the first place is because when you were a teenager, and that's when you were the most oily, that oil is flowing through the skin and it came out at a rapid rate and it enlarged the pores. It stretched it out for this oil to come out. And then hormones are added to that. That can add, oiliness and large pores. And age. So this is an interesting thing too. Did you know that pores get larger with age? So if you were somebody that had oily skin and you had larger pores when you were, from your teenage years, they look larger as you get older. And the reason is because with age, think of your skin, your collagen underneath, it's like a thick bed mattress, right? It's a cushion underneath the skin. When you get older, and that collagen and that bed mattress starts to kind of shrink, those indents in the skin go deeper into the skin. So they're more noticeable. They're not necessarily getting bigger, but they're more noticeable with age. And so if you were somebody that really wasn't an oil producer, so this would be, like skin type 7, 8, and 9 in the Renée Rouleau line, but then large pores aren't as much your issue, right? So it's really based on whether you were an oil producer or not. So my advice for making pores look smaller is regular use of physical and chemical exfoliants and retinol and retinoids used long term. So a chemical exfoliator, let's first talk about those. So we have leave-on acid exfoliators, glycolic, lactic, mandelic, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many different ones. And if you use those regularly, that will really help resurface the skin and make those pores look smaller. People ask me all the time, oh my gosh, Renee, you're 55. your skin looks good, your pores look so small. I can tell you, I've been using leave-on acid since probably 1991 is when I first got introduced to them. I've probably been using a leave-on acid on my skin at least three nights a week since the early 90s. And I'm telling you, that is why at 55, I've never even had a photo facial to get rid of any brown spots. It keeps my discoloration away. Yeah, I had a Moxie skin laser about a year ago, but that's really gentle and light, but I've never had a laser and I don't have that much pigment on my skin. And I should have some at 55. And then physical exfoliators. This is facial scrubs. So these are really good for resurfacing the skin. Whenever you use a facial scrub, you want to use one that's gentle, but instant smoothing. Your pores instantly look smaller. This is why if you have a special event, you always want to use a scrub. And then long-term use of retinol and retinoids. So the reason why I said retinol and retinoids is retinol is typically a non-prescription and retinoids are prescriptions. So typically what I'll do for clients is I'll start with them with our advanced resurfacing serum. And this is kind of a starter retinol. So it's very gentle. It, kind of introduces you to it slowly, gives you that slow drip into the skin. But depending on your skin type, you should probably eventually move on to a prescription. So who should use a prescription? People with a lot of sun damage, people who have a lot of enlarged pores, people who are late to the retinol and retinoid game. And what I mean by that is like, if you're starting your early 40s, we need to catch up, right? And so that's the whole thing with aging is that, the longer you wait to address it, the more you have to do for makeup time, right? So anyway, but again, all those leave-on exfoliating serums work as a great companion to retinol and retinoids. So definitely recommend getting on all of that to make your pores look smaller. Let's touch on skin growths. So this is another thing that people just don't talk about when they talk about glass skin growths. If you touch your face and you feel any bumps, you need to, so I call it the touch test, touch your skin. What do you feel, right? Does it feel smooth as glass? Does it not? And if you feel bumps, what are they? And that's what you need to help determine, or see an esthetician and they can help you determine that. So bumps, like I said, could be milia, could be closed comedones, could be blemishes, or they could be these skin growths or skin tags. And they have all sorts of fancy names for them, sebaceous hyperplasia, and the list goes on and on. But basically, these are genetic. They come with aging, with UV light. Oily skin people can get certain skin growths on the forehead, particularly, and hormones as well. And so these are things that sometimes you think it's a clogged pore. So sebaceous hyperplasia, oftentimes it looks like a little donut and a hole in the middle. And so people see the hole, they think it's a clogged pore, and it's not. These are skin growths. And the only way that you can get rid of them once they appear is to remove them. You have to remove them. So estheticians can do it with a certain device. Dermatologists can do them. But I recommend going and seeing a dermatologist first for any little skin growths on the skin. You want to make sure it's not skin cancer or anything, that you have to worry about. And then once you're safe, then you can figure out the best path for you for removal. So how do they remove these? They do it with a cauterized needle. They do it with liquid nitrogen, so you can freeze it off, burn it off. So one of the things that I do is once a year, I'll go to my dermatologist to get my annual skin cancer screening. And then I will be like, okay, anything that's not dangerous, let's get rid of it. I will oftentimes see an esthetician as well in between those yearly visits when things pop up. And again, they can freeze it off, burn it off. And this is the thing too, these growths get larger with age. So I call it bump management. I've been doing this for years. I call it bump management. I'm managing my bumps and I get them on my neck, on my chest. You can get them on your back. These little things grow, and the sooner you get rid of it, the less discoloration, less scarring you'll have, because they're smaller. So if you have something that's on your skin that's been there a long time and you don't like it, I recommend, again, seeing a dermatologist, make sure that it's nothing of concern, and then figure out a cosmetic plan to remove those. But again, if you want your skin smooth as glass, it has to be bump free. And that's why I want to touch on all the ways that you get bumps. And then product recommendations for skin growths, again, retinol or prescription retinoids. That helps to kind of thin out the top layer of the skin, and it may help prevent some of those skin growths from appearing. Okay, next up, let's touch on discoloration. So discoloration, it is melasma. People get it from pregnancy, sun exposure, age spots, sunspots. PIH, known as post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, a fancy word for post-breakout marks. And so again, glass skin, it's light reflective, it's even tone, it's smooth. So discoloration is something that you're going to want to address. So my best advice is using products so it's a multi-prong approach. You need to be exfoliating regularly with both physical and chemical exfoliants. I want to touch on physical exfoliants. I think that one of the keys to getting rid of pigmentation is you have to do something that physically removes dead skin cells. Leave-on acids help to dissolve and digest pigmented skin cells, but it doesn't mean they're coming off. So a physical scrub used a couple times a week, something really gentle, can really lift that pigment off. So we have in our line the Triple Berry Smoothing Scrub. This is incredible because it's perfectly round beads, doesn't scratch or lacerate the skin. This is a kind of the next generation of modern scrubs. They're not the apricot scrubs of back in the day. And when you use that, that really pulls pigmentation off. Also, from a professional standpoint, physical exfoliation is something called dermaplaning for all the estheticians here. When you give a dermaplaning treatment, you'll see it immediately on your clients. Like the skin is so much brighter. You've removed some of that unwanted discoloration, but that's a physical exfoliant. It's also removing a lot of hairs, which is great. And that does give that smooth as glass finish when you don't have the hairs and the skin is less pigmented. So go see an esthetician for a treatment like that if you have discoloration and just really want the skin to be smooth. And then SPF, of course, right? So, and this is, I'm talking to all of you that have acne and breakouts, right? You shy away from sunscreens because you're like, oh, they're going to clog my pores and that sort of thing. There is truth to that. Sunscreens can clog the pores, so you have to use the right one. But if you have post-breakup marks, which you surely do because you have acne, any UV light that sees those post-breakout marks keeps that melanin active longer. So if you're somebody that wants to get rid of post-breakout marks that linger faster, you have to block that UV light. So, and then an extra layer of protection would be foundation makeup. Foundation makeup, even if it doesn't say it has sunscreen in it, does offer sun protecting qualities because it has this, the zinc oxides in it, or the oxides, the iron oxides that give the skin that opaqueness from foundation, but it really acts as additional sun protection. So those are ways that you can really help with discoloration. And then products to help suppress melanin activity would be like vitamin C and E treatment, something that has vitamin C in it. This has the tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate in it. So that's the stable, no sting version. So if you're sensitive, this has a pH of 5.3 compared to a lot of vitamin C serums that use the ascorbic acid have a 3.5 pH. So it's just too strong. And then again, acid exfoliators. So like Triple Berry Smoothing Peel. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this. Smells like raspberry jam, but this is incredible. And then that physical exfoliation used a couple times a week with the scrub, and then finding a sunscreen that you enjoy using and you can apply generously. Let me just touch on our weightless protection SPF 30. I have been using this probably, I think I launched it when I was around 28 years old and I'm 55 now. This is the only sunscreen I've used every single day. This is why I love this sunscreen, because it's everything that sunscreen isn't. What do I mean by that? It is lightweight. doesn't clog the pores, doesn't cause acne. It doesn't pill under makeup. It's good for all skin tones. And you can apply it with a heavy hand because that's the key to sunscreen. Don't get caught up in marketing and be like, "Oh, an SPF 100." It's not about the number. It's about how generously you apply it. So if you have a sunscreen that's a little on the heavy side, and especially if you're more acne prone, you're going to use it sparingly. Well, guess what? You're probably only getting an SPF of like a 5 if you're not using a lot of it. So you have to use it with a heavy hand. I always say a minimum of SPF 30 and be able to put on a heavy layer of it. And something like Weightless Protection SPF 30, you can use it with a heavy hand and you'll never feel greasy. It's incredible. It uses both physical and chemical sunscreens. And there's always that debate. What's better, physical, chemical? And the reality is I love both, right? They both offer great benefits. So this has both in it. But here's the thing, when you use sunscreen, and I will mention this, especially for people who are concerned about the neck, do one application to the face and don't just carry whatever's left over and put it on your neck. You squeeze out and put a second application onto your neck. You have to treat your neck separately because that needs a generous coat of sunscreen. All right, moving on. Circulation. I love the pinch test. So people don't talk about circulation that much. There's what's called overcirculated skin and undercirculated skin. So overcirculated skin is redness, rosacea. It's somebody who's has a lot of redness in their skin consistently. I'm not talking about just getting out of a hot shower or working out. I'm talking about 3 o'clock in the afternoon when they're not doing anything and they have a lot of redness. That's overcirculated skin. So oftentimes we're trying to calm and sedate that circulation, but that's not what I'm talking about here. For today, I'm talking about undercirculated skin. This is for the people that we want to get that pinkness in the skin. So what you can do is the pinch test. You take your finger and you pinch your cheek about 5 times and look to see if you get any pinkness in the skin. In a perfect world, yes, you're going to see a little red, little red area, and that's great. That meant that your circulation picked up pretty quickly, and we want that. The people that you pinch it a couple times and the skin color doesn't move at all, they more than likely have undercirculated skin. And the goal is we want to increase that blood flow, because when you increase blood flow to the skin, that is what brings fresh oxygen to the skin cells, new nutrients, new blood, and that's what's helping you get that glow from inside. One of the things that I do every night is I hang my head upside down for 2 minutes every night to bring all that fresh blood to the skin. But from a topical standpoint, there's certain skincare products that can bring that life and energy back into the skin. So for example, we have our energy boosting toner. I call this the hang your head upside down for 2 minutes at night in a bottle. When I use this, and I have pretty active circulation. But when I use this, my skin will turn pink instantly. But there's times that I want that, right? If I'm feeling tired, I want to bring that little boost to the skin. We also have Mint Renewal Cleanser in the Renée Rouleau line. This has the mint botanicals in it. It's really good for circulation and really good for reviving tired skin. That's why I like to use it in the morning. And then, of course, Triple Berry Smoothing Peel, I always feel like just brings life back to the skin. So that's circulation. And then lastly, we're going to touch on moisture, hydration, and light reflection. So when you hear people talk about glass skin, they're oftentimes talking about the moisture content and the hydration content. So light reflective skin is when skin cells have a lot of water and a lot of moisture, your skin barrier is intact, and you don't have dead skin cells on the skin. Excuse me. But we always want to keep really good water in the skin. And so causes of moisture loss is, lack of oil just with age, and then lack of water. I mean, that could be all sorts of things. Airplane, it could be retinoids that dehydrate the skin. It could be, cold climates, things like that. Dead skin cell buildup doesn't allow your skin to take in as much moisture, because you never want to trying to resuscitate dry skin cells with hydration is a losing battle. You need to exfoliate. out with the old, and then hydrate those new skin cells, and then certainly topical prescriptions as well. And my advice there is the golden minute rule. So one of the, just these are the, this is the basic essentials. Every time after you wash your face, don't wait longer than 1 minute before putting on your next product, because moisture evaporation will start to occur. So always get your product on really quickly right after you wash. Obviously using gentle cleansers, nothing that's drying. But one of my favorite ways to get water in the skin is to use an alcohol-free toner, ideally an essence. What are essences? They are serum-infused toners. They are super hydrating. They lock a ton of water into the skin. We have our moisture infusion toner. I know a lot of you are familiar with that. And if you feel the texture of it, it doesn't just feel like water. It literally feels like silky and slimy. It's really wonderful. I know slimy doesn't sound great, but it's super, super plumping. But when you put on moisture infusion toner, after you cleanse your skin and you leave it damp on the skin, I mean, the skin just feels incredible. What you can do for an extra layer, usually what I do is I'll take the moisture infusion toner, I'll wipe it over the skin. That's getting off any cleanser residue. If should there be some left, that's removing the impure tap water from having washed my face. So I'll wipe it over, leave it on damp. Then I'll take a little bit more and I'll pour it into my hand, and then I'll pat it. And I'll put, another layer on it. Sometimes I'll even do a third layer, put it on again, and you're really drenching that skin with water. This is not oil, it's with water. Remember, skin cells are like fish. They need water to live. You can't just focus on putting oil on the skin with heavy moisturizers. Your skin needs water, and that's why you need to use a toner every time after you wash. Also, you can make what are called ice cube toners. Toner ice cubes. Toner ice cubes is when you use a toner, you can use any kind, moisture infusion or energy boosting or any of our other ones, and put it into a little ice cube tray, put it in little small popsicle sticks, and you can also glide it over the skin, super hydrating, also cooling and helping with puffiness and redness. So, and then you always, after you put water on the skin, then you might put a water-based serum. We have like our skin drink concentrate that is super hydrating, hyaluronic acid, sodium hyaluronate. There's a lot of different great humectants, glycerin, sodium PCA. There's tons of them that are really good for infusing water in the skin. And then afterwards, then you put a cream on, right? Because creams have oils in them. They have larger molecules to them. So that's what seals it all in. So if you want to really treat your skin, use our Rest Day mask. And our Rest Day mask has the 3 methods of barrier repair. It's a sleeping mask, and it's really good for sealing up those invisible cracks in the skin to also make the skin light reflective and also really just improve that barrier. I named it Rest Day mask mainly to take a break from your actives and give your skin a rest. So really reparative. And then, but any of our, skin recovery lotion, if you are somebody that is more oily and acne prone and you want to improve your skin barrier, but you're worried about breaking out because a lot of the barrier repair products have too many oils in it that your skin can't tolerate. Skin recovery lotion is great. And then we have our new skin recovery balm as well. And that has 5 methods of barrier repair. And it creates a moisture locking seal over the skin to really hold water and moisture into the skin and improve the barrier. So that's it. We got through all of that. So let's touch on your glass skin action plan. Take the skin type quiz, always use products for your skin type, and get glowing the Renee way. So if you guys need any help, you can connect with one of our expert estheticians at reneerouleau.com, and they can help you, or certainly take the skin type quiz. Lastly, I want to touch on makeup. So I'll have another webinar all on makeup, but I do want to just make this point when it comes to glass skin. Don't underestimate how much makeup can make your skin look, smooth, right? All the highlighters, the reflectors, the things that really make the skin reflect light and look really shiny and healthy. But the cons of it is what I touched on earlier, which is getting the clogged pores, right? You have to be careful with makeup because, again, all those highlighters and cream blushes and those things that are meant to reflect light can be, pore blocking to the pores. So that's a problem there. And then lastly, let's touch on sunscreen, pros and cons to sunscreens. So, of course, the pros are they benefit your skin greatly. It's the number one anti-aging product on the planet if you use it generously and faithfully every day. The cons of them is that they can sometimes be pore clogging, not suitable for all skin types, depending on the formula. If you're a deeper skin tone, it can leave a whitish cast. And so you really have to find your best formula. And also, let me touch on this about sunscreen. When I hear a lot of makeup artists and people talking about glass skin, they're doing all of this dewiness and oils and water-based hydration, and they're doing it during the day. Where's your sunscreen in all of this? Like, no one's ever talking about, they're putting oils on the skin to get all of that shininess during the day, but like, where's sunscreen here, people? Like, there is nothing more important than wearing sunscreen during the day. If you want to use all this, skin oils at night under makeup before you go out, all of that, that's great. But I mean, that's what your skin needs during the day. So don't ever, in your quest to get glass skin and all this dewiness, forget that sunscreen is the most important thing you need during the day. All right, where to buy Renée Rouleau skincare products, reneerouleau.com, or you can shop with one of our 25 pro partners. If you are a Renée Rouleau pro partner, please mention it in the chat. Put your website or your Instagram, let people know how they can get in touch with you. But we are now having our products sold through estheticians and skincare professionals and med spas. And that number is growing. If you're interested in becoming a pro partner, go to reneerouleau.com. On the bottom of the site, you can apply. And then, of course, follow us on all of the things. So thank you, everyone, so much. Follow the Renée way. I've been doing this for 35 years. I've learned a thing or two, and put your skin in my hands. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks for taking time out of your busy life to invest in yourself, in your skin.